You ready for some basketball?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's still 2 months before the season begins, so cut down on the red meat. But news is breaking over the past couple of weeks relatively constantly about the NBA. First up, the NBA announced its 8-year-long partnership with sports apparel giant Nike. Remember, it used to be Adidas? Well, now Nike gets the nod to make the league's new jerseys. The deal reportedly worth roughly $1 billion. But there are a whole bunch of changes to this. The jersey lineup next season, and that would be the sponsors. Each team will now have a sponsor logo displayed on their jerseys, almost like a mini billboard. So far, 11 teams have announced their partnership picks, including the Cleveland Cavs, which just unveiled their brand new uniforms in a tweet yesterday. Check that. And by the way, there are 5 versions of each uniform: home, away, retro, blah, blah, blah. Several teams are gearing up to announce their partnership in the next few days, including the Milwaukee Bucks. We speak exclusively with the team's president, Peter Feigin, who just now, at the team's helm, is looking to its next partner.
Global brands, people want international presence, want association with the NBA brand and the culture itself, and it truly runs the gamut.
What kind of revenue does that get for you guys?
The revenue really varies on different types of deal, but I would say safely it's anywhere from $2.5 to $6 million a year.
That's a nice chunk of change, I would say.
That's a good deal.
And the uniforms themselves and the deal with Nike now is a lot more expensive because they're not just doing 2 uniforms for each team, like the home and the away uniform. They're adding another 3. I think that's very interesting.
Well, I think they're adding 3, and what people will soon discover is it's going to be an interactive type of uniform. It's going to be how do you actually engage with the product? How do customers become retention quality, not only with the teams, but the uniforms and everything else? So it's this evolved type of consumer product marketing that hasn't existed before.
Well, you know, you can look at any of the products that are now partnering up with many of these companies, and it is certainly pretty interesting to see with whom they're picking. Some are picking companies that are in their state. The obvious one would be beer to me, because we just came from Milwaukee, did a big story on all of the breweries there, and it was really pretty dramatic and so entwined with the history of the Bucks.
Well, it's a beer town, you know, and Miller Coors is right around there, one of our partners, and they will be for the next 5 years.
Is that a problem with the NBA to have alcohol?
No, I think alcohol has been a partner with the NBA and with venues for a long time. I mean, but what really happened is these small markets have transformed. The Oklahoma Cities, the Milwaukees have become global portals just because of what's happened with media. So it goes way beyond the local sponsorships.
From one vice to another, Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, has said that he eventually sees gambling on the games coming legal, right, in the next couple of years. So you have that potential, but you also have the fantasy sports games like DraftKings and WinView, for example, and you know, these are companies where it's a skills game that involves money, where you can win prizes and things like that. What do you make between the 2 of them?
Well, we're in it. So we're in esports. So the NBA teams, one of 11 teams that have jumped in to the NBA Esports League. We think that the engagement with fantasy sports and esports are just so prevalent now. I mean, you see the ratings, you see how they're doing on streaming, what the engagement is across demos. You have to be engaged, and Adam has been on the forefront of kind of not avoiding the inevitable. Well,
you have something else that is inevitably coming in about, I guess, the season after next, and that's the brand new arena, almost $500 million that you're putting into that?
We do. We're probably putting in a little bit over $1.5 billion in a 30-acre campus to really create a destination.
Any taxpayer money being used for that?
It is. In the arena itself, which is a $524 million project, half of it is public money.